Iran says negotiations cannot take place under threat after US President Donald Trump warned Tehran to make a deal or face a military attack. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi posted on X that Iran's armed forces have their finger on the trigger to respond immediately and powerfully to any aggression. He added Iran has always welcomed a mutually beneficial and fair nuclear deal. The US has laid out several demands. Tehran must reduce its ballistic missile capabilities, especially missiles that can reach Israel. It needs to halt its nuclear enrichment program. President Trump wants Tehran to end its support for regional armed groups such as Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen. Well, Ali Hashim joins us now live from Tehran. Ali, so we earlier heard from Iran's foreign minister saying he'd had no contact with people like Steve Witkoff from the US administration. Any sign now of any move towards talks now that we've had this latest ultimatum from Donald Trump?
Well, over the past hours, there have been a lot of messages conveyed between Iran and the United States through mediators, mainly regional mediators, and there's a lot of effort in this aspect. However, the issue is that the gap is still very big. The American demands, President Trump's demands, aren't any close to what Iran is ready to give, and this was clear, especially when it comes to the zero enrichment issue and the ballistic missiles, limiting the number and the range of ballistic missiles. So here is the main problem now. And there's even a bigger problem that the United States have been building up its military presence in the region for the past week, and the threats are very high. There is an attempt from the Iranians to say clearly that they are ready to talk, but to talk with dignity. And they are ready also to fight. And this is what we heard from several Iranian officials, including the head of the diplomacy, Abbas Araghchi. Also, we just heard this from the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Baqir Qalibaf, who said that Iran is ready to talk. But in case the war is imposed on Iran, then Iran is going to fight. And no one can control the end of this battle.
And Ali, we heard from a warning from Ali Shamkhani about the Iranian response going well beyond the US. Just how wide a range of targets do we know are the Iranians looking at?
Well, we have to take into consideration that Iran already has an arsenal of ballistic missiles that can reach the sea. So the issue is that for now, the Iranians are dealing with a situation, whereas if they are under threat, then as Shamkhani said and others said, the possibility of widening this confrontation is very big. In the past, we used to mention Iran's influence in Lebanon, in Syria in the past, in Iraq, in Yemen. Now, regardless of the curbing of the Iranian influence in the region, it still has this influence. It still has the influence in Lebanon. It still has the influence in Yemen and in Iraq. And we heard from these factions allied to Iran that they are ready to be part of this war. This is on one side. On the other side, Iran's ballistic missiles can reach to Israel. And to Iran, Israel is part of this whole battle. So the moment a war is going to happen, then no one knows the ceiling of such a war and the ceiling of such a confrontation.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much. Ali Hashim from Tehran.
Don't miss out. Get a full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.